Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming today. And we've all seen with the high cost of energy what it's meant for jobs, what it's meant for small business, and what it's meant for families. You don't have to be here at a gas station to see the impact of high gas prices. We saw it when Skybus declared bankruptcy. You can see it when employers can no longer expand jobs and grow jobs. And you see it every day when families are faced with the high cost of gasoline at the pump and the high cost of food in the grocery store. It's time for Congress to adopt a common sense plan to tackle the high cost of oil. Unfortunately, in Washington, Congress has been unable to move beyond partisanship and political games to find a consensus. Instead, Congress has passed two bills dealing with gas prices this year. The first one raises taxes on oil companies that could actually increase the cost of fuel at the pump. The second one seeks to sue OPEC for limiting oil production in the Middle East, while Congress at the same time is limiting fuel production, oil production here in America. What we need is a balanced, fiscally responsible plan that reduces costs, invests in alternative and advanced energy to create green-collar jobs, and reduces our dependence on foreign oil, which I believe is a national security imperative. The plan I'm talking about today creates energy security for this country in that it establishes certainty and even innovation in our economy and strengthens our national security so that we're no longer dependent on nations who may not share our democratic values. The plan includes 5 points. The first point creates a domestic petroleum administration for security. That is something that's taken from Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a model he used in 1942 when he created the Petroleum Administration for War to help us through World War II. The Petroleum Administration for War worked. It led to new supply, new pipelines, and new refineries that helped us in the war effort. I believe the national imperative is more important now than it was during World War II. The PAS director would oversee building domestic supply and refinery capacity, including environmentally safe domestic oil production on federal lands. Petroleum products that are sourced through the PAS would be used for 3 purposes. First, to fill the strategic reserve. Second, they'd be used for government vehicles as well as defense vehicles. And third, they'd be sold at auction into the American market. Additionally, the PAS director would be allowed to lease existing unused refinery capacity. Point number 2, invest $100 billion over 10 years in advanced and alternative energy research and development. This energy plan invests $100 billion over 10 years in advanced energy to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels and to create green-collar jobs. It's important for our economy and for our national security that we make this commitment. This infusion of $100 billion will create the green-collar jobs of tomorrow, and it'll allow for massive development of technology that's needed to power a new, cleaner economy. We must prepare for a new, cleaner economy in this country, and I believe that that new green economy can help revitalize our state and our nation. And we're doing this in a fiscally responsible way. This project would be funded by the revenue created by the PAS programs. I believe that's much more fiscally responsible than deficit spending or raising taxes to pay for this program. Work is already being done in this area on green jobs at places like the Edison Welding Institute, EWI, and the Ohio State University, where they're working to find the next new clean energy source. This investment will help create green-collar jobs in Ohio. Point number 3, close the foreign markets loophole in commodity regulation. Recently, Congress passed legislation that would close the Enron loophole, which requires the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC, to establish oversight of electronic energy exchanges. But Congress did not take action to close the foreign markets loophole. Currently, foreign-owned commodities exchanges are not under any federal oversight, and this allows speculative foreign investors to drive up the price of oil here in America. In April, during sworn testimony before a House committee, it was revealed that speculation by the foreign markets has contributed significantly to the increase in the cost of oil. Today, I'm calling on Congress to close the foreign market loophole. Point number 4, raising the mile per gallon standard on all cars and trucks across the board. The current standards for miles per gallon fleets average 27.5 miles per gallon for cars and 22.5 miles per gallon for trucks. In late 2007, the first overhaul came, which would have caused automakers to boost their fleet-wide averages to 35 miles per gallon for cars by the year 2020. It did not affect trucks. Today, I'm calling on fleet averages for cars to be raised to 40 miles per gallon and for trucks 35 miles per gallon over the next 6 years by 2015, and that's 6 years from 2009. That's an increase of 2 miles per gallon per year. The last point for Congress is to create a national standard gas formulation at various grades to reduce the demand on our refineries. There are currently 30 different formulations of gasoline that strain our existing refineries. I believe that national fuel standard formulations should be created. This is a common sense solution because these formulations in the different regions and states are actually created to comply with the federal clean air standards. And so if they're complying with the federal clean air standards, it makes sense that Congress would create a menu of federal gas formulations to choose from. This will reduce the stress on our refineries and allow fuels to be more portable across the country. Currently, due to the different state and regional formulations, it's very difficult to transport fuel from one part of the country to the other. I believe this fix would also be extremely beneficial in the case of a national emergency. Those are the 5 points I'm calling on Congress to enact, and the plan that I believe I'll take to Washington next year after I'm elected to Congress. But there are things that consumers can do and are doing every day to deal with gas prices. First, they can carpool. We've been going door to door since February 10th, and for the last 2 months, our volunteers have been carpooling, and I know lots of people around Central Ohio have been carpooling every day. They can shop around for the lowest gas price, and there are tools to assist them with that. And they can use public transportation. They can also purchase a higher mile per gallon car or a hybrid car. When I got back from Operation Iraqi Freedom, I bought this hybrid Ford Escape because I was tired of sending money overseas to people that were trying to kill my buddies over there. And so I decided to buy a hybrid. I traded in my Jeep Grand Cherokee, where I was getting about 16 miles to the gallon, and I'm getting almost 27 miles to the gallon on average, both city and highway, in my hybrid. In conclusion, families are looking for solutions to problems they confront every day. They're tired of the same old blame game politics, and they want to see results. This plan will help us create a predictable, stable energy market for the future. It's a balanced plan that's fiscally responsible, that will invest in a record number of green-collar jobs. This plan would remove our dependence on foreign oil and improve our national security, as well as helping our economy. Thanks for